Hello, my name's Annette with Sunbeam Fabric Art. Welcome to my channel. Today's quilt is based on the True Blue block that I found in Barbara Brackman's encyclopedia. Now, I made this block in a video last year, and I think there's maybe a print error in this book, but I did a little research. I got Barbara Brackman's Civil War Quilts book, and indeed the True Blue block in that book is a bit different. But I have a lot of blue scraps. I did my green scraps first for 2025 Scraps Giving. Now I'm working on the blue, and I thought, well, let's try and make a quilt completely out of this True Blue block. And just to let you know, this quilt was not fast and it was not easy. I turned 3 of the blocks the wrong way and had to pick that apart and fix them. That was not fun, but come along with me today and I will show you how I made the True Blue quilt from scraps. Well, here is the bag of blue scraps that I have from when I sorted all the scraps by color. It's amazing the amount of quilts you can make out of one Ziploc bag full of scraps. What you see me doing here is kind of sorting these scraps out by strip length. I have a lot of strips here. I think those are a lot of leftovers from backings from last year's quilts. You'll also see me checking the widths, because I think that's going to be important, because the first block, the True Blue block, I'm going to need at least certain widths to make these blocks. Well, here's how it looks after sorting everything out, and what I'm going to be doing is taking away the things that I think I will be able to use to make my True Blue blocks. So these are the fabric strips that I pulled to make these True Blue blocks. I'm looking at them in black and white just to see if any of them read light or dark, and I think they mostly read dark. I played around with some colorways on my computer, and it's really amazing how when you switch the darks and lights, how different these blocks look. But this is what I'm trying to achieve right here. Feel free to pause right here and take a screenshot or write this down. What I need for my True Blue block are 4 patches, 4 half square triangles, and 1 center block. Now my blocks will finish to around 12 inches each. I'm making 36 blocks, a 6 by 6 layout. I will also leave all this information in the video description for you. Now what I'm missing from this bag of scraps is a light fabric that will be consistent across all the blocks. I pulled some fabrics from my stash and took a look, and I decided that I would use this light aqua print with dragonflies on it as my light colorway. Now I have a yard of it. Unfortunately, the yard was not enough. I did not know this before I started, but I subbed in an additional fabric from my stash to complete the quilt, and you'll see how I did that at the end. I cut my selvage edge off of this fabric, and then I cut this yard of fabric into 5-inch strips. I've got a video from back in 2023 that I posted on using this stripology ruler, and I will link that in the description. Once I was all done cutting 5-inch squares, I calculated that I was short 16 5-inch squares. I had picked a blue fabric from my stash for my center blocks, and I had enough of that to cut out 16 additional 5-inch squares. So I did that first, and then I cut out my 36 4.5-inch blocks, squares, for the center of each block. I had set aside these strips that were wider than 2.5 inches, and I trimmed those to 2.5 inch widths to make my 4 patches. I paired those up with white pre-cut 2.5 inch strips. And for the half square triangles, I'm using white pre-cut 5 inch squares. Now I've got a video on making and trimming half square triangles. For 36 blocks, I'm going to need 4 half square triangles for each block, so 36 times 4 is 144 half square triangles. I start by drawing a diagonal line on my light fabric on the wrong side. Then I put my 2 fabrics that I want my half square triangle to be right sides together. Now off camera, I took this to the sewing machine and I sewed 1/4 inch from the line on both sides of my line. Now I'm just going to cut directly on that line. Now I slid this down here. I wanted you to see that I chose to use the wrong side of this blue fabric for my half square triangles. I just wanted it to stand out a little bit from the center of the block. This is quite a repetitive process. First, I'm drawing the lines on all the white blocks, then I'm stitching down both sides of the line, then cutting them apart, pressing them open, and last, trimming these half square triangles. This kind of easy, repetitive process is great for listening to an audiobook, watching a TV show, or just quiet thinking. I'm trimming my half square triangles to 4.5 inches. I'm lining up the diagonal line on my ruler to match that seam line. I'm making sure that fabric overlaps that 4.5 inch line on the left and the bottom. Then I can trim that right hand side and that top side. Flip that block around, line up the 4.5 inch line on the left and the bottom and the diagonal line, and trim the other 2 sides. Now, if you did a really good job, some of your blocks, if not all, you may already have 2 lines that match up that 4.5 inch line and they're perfectly square, so I only need to trim 2 sides on this block. And I'll just need to trim off that dog ear on the opposite corner. With all those half square triangles set aside, it's time to start working on the 4 patches. To start making the 4 patches, I'm going to be sewing a white strip right sides together with a blue strip. With all my strips stitched together, I pressed these strip sets open to the dark side. Now, full disclosure on those blue strips, I did not trim them all to 2.5 inches. If they were not going to be able to make 2 strips, I just left them wide and trimmed them later. Now in this case, this blue strip is pretty wide. I think I've got enough extra. I'm going to be measuring over 2.25 inches from that center seam, and if I cut off the extra blue, that's going to leave me a nice usable strip. And if the strips weren't wide enough to bother with, I just saved the trimming for later. Next, I need to cut these strip sets into 2.5-inch widths. So if you're using just a single ruler like this one that's 2.5 inches wide, make sure you line up the horizontal lines with that seam, and then you can trim it to 2.5 inches. To speed this up for myself, I'm going to go back to using my stripology ruler to cut these 2.5-inch wide strips. I thought about whether I wanted to mix and match these 4 patches. Here's one look at a mixed up 4 patch, and then I took a look at making them uniform, and I decided to, as much as possible, make them uniform. To assemble my 4 patches, I'm going to put 2 of these little strips together, right sides together, but I'm going to make sure the whites are opposite from each other. And since I press these all to the dark side, the little seams are going to nest. One seam is going to go one way, the other seam is going to go the other way, and this is going to make a nice little seam joining. When all the 4 patches were stitched together, I took my stack to the iron. I pressed all the seams nice and flat. We're going to take a close-up look of trimming these 4 patches. I want my finished square to be 4.5 inches, so the 2 seam lines need to line up on 2.25 inches. Once they line up, I can trim the right side and the top side. Then I will flip this block around the opposite way. I will line up again on those 2.25 inch lines and trim the other 2 sides. With everything trimmed up, it is time to start laying out the blocks. The half square triangles go around the outside corners, and the 4 patches make the T shape. And I've got all my darks going the same direction, bottom left to top right. Now I've got this entire stack of all my blocks. My 36 blocks are all stacked up here. I'm going to start stitching them together. The top left 2 pieces, then the middle left 2 pieces, then the bottom left 2 pieces. And I'm going to chain piece as I go, and it'll be pretty easy to tell if I get colors mixed up because I've got them as many as possible the same colors in each block. Once I separated the chain of the first pairs, I put those back right where I got them from in the right stacks, and then I started adding that 3rd unit to each row. Once I got all the rows of each block done, it was simply a matter of stitching the first 2 rows together and then adding on that 3rd row. These blocks went together real easily. They were pretty easy for me to nest the seams between units on the fly. I didn't feel like I really needed clips at this point. Once I had all the blocks assembled, I started laying out some of the different dragonfly half square triangle blocks. I separated those from the blue half square triangle blocks. I knew I had 8 of the alternate half square triangle blocks with the blue fabric. I decided to put 4 of those 8 in the 4 corners and the other 4 in one and down one from the 4 corners. That required a little bit of mental gymnastics. The most important thing, if you're using this block, make sure your dark squares are going the same way. And if you're paying attention, you may see some of the blocks that I put together incorrectly. Now again, at this point, I did not feel like I needed to clip, but you certainly can. I felt pretty comfortable with this one, just nesting these seams on the fly. Another thing that will prevent layout errors like the ones I had would be to lay this out on a floor or a design wall and then take down from that as you go to keep everything in its proper place until it's stitched together. I kept joining my blocks according to plan. When I had 2 blocks put together, I added 2 more blocks to that to make 4, and then I added 2 more to make 6 to complete each row. After I had 4 blocks attached, I had enough length on that section to flip it around and add those other 2 blocks to complete the row. And here's a look at how I am lining up those blocks. I've got the 4 of the blue half square triangle blocks on the 4 corners of the quilt, and then the other 4 of those blue half square triangle blocks in one and down one from the corner. Well, when it came time to put these rows together, I did get out my clips. I want to make sure those 4 patches do match up from row to row. Make sure the seams between half square triangles match up from row to row. So I went through and I clipped 2 rows together, 2 more rows together, and then the last 2 rows together. I stitched those 3 seams, then I started clipping together 2 rows to 2 more rows, and then I went ahead and clipped on the last 2 rows. So I took that all to the sewing machine and stitched those last 2 seams together. Well, you'll have to wait just a minute for the quilt reveal. The reason is I spread this out on the floor and I was taking pictures of it, and I discovered 3 blocks that I had turned the wrong way. Depending on the project, I will leave mistakes in my quilt. In this one, I slept on it overnight and thought about it, and I decided to fix these 3 blocks. I used little clips to identify the blocks that were turned the wrong way. Then I used my seam ripper and I went around each of the 3 blocks. One was on an edge, so it only had 3 sides I needed to take out, but the other 2 I had to go all the way around the block and do 4 seams, plus open up the seams alongside so I could stitch the block back into its row and then back into its column. I definitely did a lot of clipping to get these blocks lined up correctly in their rows and columns, stitch them back into place, and then I was finally done. Now this correction took me an extra 2 hours, just for your information. Here is a look at the corrected, finished quilt top. I really did enjoy making this quilt top from scraps and leftovers. I hope you did too. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you back again real soon.